We. Sasa nikwambie kitu. Do you know I am 10 years sober? Ukiniangalia hivyo. 10 years sober. Can you tell? 10 years sober. 10 years sober. Sasa nikwambia kwa kasafari akaja kuwa rahisi hata kidogo. You know why? Because you see ukiacha, can you imagine kuacha tei ama kuacha hizo vitu zote at probably your prime, ile time uko young kabisa, because imagine 10 years, hesabu 10 years nyuma. Siwaambii age yangu, lakini hesabu 10 years nyuma uniambie. And the funny thing about it ni ati, as I turn 10 years sober, can you imagine I'm in the place where it all began? 2016, sasa tuko 2026. I am back to the place where it all began. Niko wapi? Niko kwetu. Nilirudi kwetu. So you can imagine the last 10 years, man. You know, it's not a joke, but for sure 10 years being sober. See, you know, it's always by the grace of God. It's always by the grace of God, and it's the reality, it's the truth. By the grace of God. And nakumbuka nilikuwa nafikiria hii story I was praying, and the word Ebenezer came. Ebenezer, you know, inamanishanga this far it has been God. So 10 years, manze, this far it has been God for sure. Na sijui, you know, sijui ni nini naweza ambia Mungu, but naweza sema tu ni asante, because 10 years of sobriety means unafikiria, you're very intentional with your day. Mimi naonaga siku ikiisha, naonaga jua ikiwaka hivi, naona ikiisha, because I'm very intentional. With day unaweza poteza ka weekend, unaweza poteza ka Thursday to Sunday, haujui nini happen in between, but when you are very sober from Monday to Monday, unakoga tu rada hivi. So for me, as I finish a decade sober, this is the one thing, by the way, I have done consistently. You know, and it's only by the grace of God. Hadi saini kisema ndio na imagine, wow, yani nimekuwa sober for 10 years. So it's a long story of how it happened. 2016, it was just, you know, I think mimi nilikuwa wale wase wa kwanza kushikwa na depression, because it ended up to a point where hadi nikajipata hosi, was in hospital, admitted for 16 days, went through a whole detoxification, tukakaa chini siku moja na psychiatrist, psychologist, whoever they are, akaniambia we ni aje, utaacha hii kitu ama? And at that particular moment, aliniuliza the question of my life, utaacha hii kitu ama? Utaachana na hizi vitu ama? And I said yes. And so for me, nimekama hapa ku encourage and to celebrate with me 10 years, manze. Niambie wewe umekuwa sober for how long? Is it a day? Is it 2 weeks? A week? Tell me how long you've been sober for. 10 years sober. Thank you so much, manze, to God. 10 years sober si mchezo. And I'm glad I am here.